Welcome to the Essential Coaching Podcast. My name is Mike Favors, and I'm what you call a pastoral success coach, but with a twist. You see, for the past 20 years, I've been pastoring and coaching people to a positive mindset and how to create a life of financial freedom. During this podcast, I will take you behind the scenes and share with you some of the tips and strategies that has helped hundreds of people do just that. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to another episode of the Essential Coaching. I'm so excited for you all to be here because whether you're watching on YouTube or listening to our podcast, we are relaunching the podcast on both platforms. And so it's going to be amazing. And so what I wanted to do today is share something with you all, a brief overview of what we've been doing, and also introduce you to one of my newest books. My latest book is out called Creating a Life of Freedom. And of course, we're going to show you and share with you how to get these products, how to get this book. But I'm more interested today in sharing you how it came about. Okay. So once again, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, coaches, leaders, content creators, this book right here literally can change your trajectory. And this is why we called it Creating a Life of Freedom. Change your financial landscape within these 4 moves. So let me just give you a little history about this piece, you all. 2 years ago, my mother transitioned. A few months later, within about 7 to 8 months, my wife's mother transitioned. And then as we entered into 2023, I was stricken in both my knees to where I could not walk. I was literally in a wheelchair, you all, and I mean, depressed, feeling overwhelmed, feeling, just lost like never before. But one thing about it is I still could function mentally. And so it was at that time, around the same time last year, you all, that I said, you know what? I got a choice to make. I got a decision to make. I was listening to one of my coaches, Bob Proctor at the time, and he said, if you're not creating something, then you're disintegrating. And that hit home with me. And I said, you know what? I got to get back to creating. What am I doing? And so the book came up. Now, mind you, while in this wheelchair, I closed on our house. We secured our business, secured our executive offices, and wrote the book, launched the book, reopened or relaunched our Essential Leaders Institute, and started taking on clients, you all. And so it's nothing short of amazing. So anyway, this book was the brainchild out of all of that. And I want to share a few things with you from the introduction that I believe will hit you right where you are. And the first question that comes to mind when I wrote this, the first thing that I asked, when you read it, you'll see it says, what is the problem? What is your biggest pain point? What is it that you want to be free of so you can be free to do? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand right there that until you identify the problem, until you face the problem, you never can quit what you don't face. You have to deal with these things. And so a lot of times people who are young, emerging thought leaders, entrepreneurs, content creators, sometimes they get in it for the wrong reasons. And if that's you, that's okay, because I have the answer for you. But when you get into it for the wrong reason, then you really haven't identified the problem. That's the first thing you got to do. What is the problem? What is the thing that you want to solve? Even if it's in your own life first. A lot of great ideas, you all, start with your situation in mind. Once again, let's use me as an example. I was laid up in the bed, couldn't walk, feeling sad for myself, but I still had a mindset. I still knew that I could create. So the problem was I was bored. I was feeling sad. I was feeling down on myself. And mind you, I was in excruciating pain. Stayed on medicine. Couldn't move without a serious ache. Understand, both of my knees were swole to the size of cantaloupes at one point. And so how did I solve the problem, you all? I said, well, what is the biggest pain point? The biggest pain point is that I can't move like I want to move. I can't get up, I can't get mobile, and then I have to wait on people to do things for me. So what did I do? The next question came that what is it that you want to be free of? I want to be free of having to depend on someone to do things for me. So what? I got out of the bed and went and got a wheelchair. I did physical therapy and got myself strong enough to where if I isolated my knees, then I could kind of shift my body weight to a chair from the bed. Once I did that, you all, it was over, because then I started willing myself getting back to where I wanted to be. So then the last part of that question is, so you can be free to do. I wanted to be free to walk in my home when we closed last year in March 3rd. I believe that was the date. So that's the first thing I want you all to understand and identify. What is the problem? Okay, once you understand that, then we get into the next piece. Because in the book I write, in the first book of Freedom, I show people how to overcome fear, worry, anxiety, and doubt. Today, you must look at the root cause of your problem so you can overcome and begin to create or recreate the life of freedom that you want. Now, when you're dealing with something that you almost don't have control over, like a sickness, an illness, an ailment, car accident, loss of a loved one, what have you, those things sometimes you can't control. But what you can control is the outcome of how you receive it. So one concept that we teach to our clients is this: you have to learn how to accept and reject information, certain things, whether it's negative or positive. You say, well, why would you want to reject something positive? Well, if someone suggests something that is not in harmony with your overall goal, you still have to reject it. Even if it's from a good intent, even if it's positive, you have to remove it out of your psyche so that you don't focus on it and give any unnecessary energy to it. So right here, when I say, how can you overcome whatever's problem you or your biggest problem, how to overcome that was not to be sad, get out of the state of depression. I had to really will myself out of that state. And I'm going to just put this down and share with you right now, because I only want this to be 10 minutes and I can take the rest of the time to share with you. One might say, well, Favors, how do I switch my state? How do I switch the mindset if I'm in that depression, I've been anxious, if I'm sad now, and I have reason to be? Well, you got to look at it like this. There's something that we call practicing gratitude. Every day, I learn how to wake up and be thankful for what I did have. Now, here's what happens when you do that. When you practice gratitude, remember the good book says, oh, give thanks. Okay? When you give thanks and practice gratitude, it puts you in a vibration. It puts your mind in a vibration to where as you begin to focus on the things that you have, you're grateful. I mean, think about it. Even though I couldn't do what I used to do, I still could do this. So I said, you know what? I'm still here. I still have the rest of my health. I can still think. I can still write. I can still sit up and do broadcasts, you know. Once the healing process started, then my legs and things became stronger. So then my gratitudes became even more intense. And I'm talking about, I did this every day, several times a day, you all. Anytime I felt myself sad, if I was watching TV and something came on that reminded me of sports or music, I was a musician, anything that came on that got me sad, depressed, and really had me to begin to focus on that, I immediately instituted the practice of gratitude. And so practicing gratitude is one of the first things that I'll show you, or that I'm showing you, as to how to create a life of freedom, especially when it comes to your finances. Because listen, people, you understand that financials have to be courted. Okay, I want y'all to understand this. When you understand that finances and the ability to get them are given to you by God, that's what it says in the good book. That's what it says in the Bible. It's given to you. It's the ability that God gives you. So many times we're looking for a way out or looking for an easy way when you really should be thinking about an idea, something that you can be happy for, thankful for, and grateful for, and then you build upon that idea. Many times if you have a great idea, someone else is looking to invest something in a great idea. I just said something to somebody. I hope you all picked up what I just laid down. If you have an idea, $1 million idea, and I'm looking for a way to invest $1 million, then we got a great connection, don't we? Okay, so that's what gratitude does for you. It puts you in a state. It changes your state so that you can receive clarity, so that you can think positive, so that you can make moves and really get back in the game. And ladies and gentlemen, that's what creating a life of freedom is all about. Whether it's financial freedom, emotional freedom, partner freedom, just if you're trying to fire your boss and come off your job so you can have more time to travel, do whatever it is you want to do. That's what that's all about. And so creating a life of freedom, you all, once again, I'm going to leave some links down for you, but that was just the first introduction, the first 2 paragraphs in the introduction. But all of that came from that, practicing gratitude, but starting with the problem. What's your biggest pain point and what do you want to be free of so you can be free to do? Once you identify those and you start practicing gratitude, guys, I promise you, I guarantee it, everything else is going to change. So with that being said, you all, once again, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Those of you who are in the podcast area, whether it's Apple or Spotify, follow, hit that button, subscribe to that channel as well, because, guys, the rest of this year, 2024, is going to be nothing short of amazing. Thanks for being here. It's Doc Favors. We'll see you next time.